and you'll see your reality impregnate and give birth to what you wish to see. There are many men on this journey. Once they get dominion, control, jurisdiction over their sexual energy, they don't know what to do. Or you might be one of these individuals saying, Joseph, I've gone through this bout of abstinence, but I am not noticing any benefits in my life. These are the same individuals that have changed nothing in their lifestyle, and they have not created an ideal to strive towards, a vision that compels them to get up out of bed every single morning. And this is going to be the premise of today's video, which is the essence of reality creation. I truly believe in my heart of hearts, once you have actualized and integrated the methods that I'm going to share here in this video, you will see for yourself your reality begin to transform before your eyes, and put that procreative energy to good use. Instead of procreating a physical life, you will be procreating the reality right in front of your eyes. So we're going to give thanks to Jane 333 here, not the 666s. Everything you need to know about SATS. What is SATS first and foremost? Now, anybody familiar with Neville Goddard will understand this as the state akin to sleep. So let's go through this and I will add some color. And by the end of this video, you are going to have not just the insight, not just the shift in paradigm, but the practical steps in order to start creating your life from scratch. Let's begin. Living in the end works 100%. The thing is, it requires such a high level of patience, and most people are not willing to give that kind of time and effort to understanding something, so they just give up. I used to be like that, but now I fall asleep most nights in the wish fulfilled, and the results are exactly as Neville has described. We'll get on to what this means in just a moment, but let me add a little bit more color, a little bit more context before I do so. I don't fall asleep in the wish fulfilled to get anything. I fall asleep in the wish fulfilled because it's my real life and the rest is not real. Reality is lies. That's what's so funny. People who don't like Neville say it's a delusion, but the opposite is true. It's about being totally real, more than real than anything you can see. Let me pause here. A couple of terminology that you need to understand first and foremost. Living in the end. What is it called, living in the end? Living in the end is a perspective, is a reality that you live, which allows the matrix or the Maya around you to orientate its shape around your current belief systems. Meaning you should always hold the belief, the vision, the attitude, the mental perspective that you have that which you already desire. That you are living the life in the end. You are living the life how you would always want to live it. And many people conflate this with a feeling of craving as opposed to having. You should never crave anything because you frame yourself like a beggar to the universe. You should never be in a perpetual state of wanting, because if you're in a perpetual state of wanting, you're in a perpetual state of never having. Do you see here? This is the paradigm shift that's essential, that you marry, that you hold on to if you are to create your desired outcomes. She says it here, I believe Jane is a woman, she says it here herself. Everything outside of you is a delusion. It is not real. It is a dream. It is a nightmare. It is not consistent with your inner world. Your inner world is whole, is magnificent, is heaven, is the life that you would like to live. And if you can hold on to that energetic frequency, you will start to see it permeate and manifest itself in the realities outside of you. And the relation to this in terms of sexual energy is this. If you are empty inside, if you are empty of life, then how do you expect to see life procreate outside of you? But if you are full with life, if you are abundant, if you are whole, if you are pure, if you are chaste, then you will expect to see the same in your outer environment. The inner reflects the outer always. We also know that there's a relationship between when you are chaste and the nutrients and proteins that insulate your spinal cord and your brain comparatively when you're empty, when you're promiscuous, when you are devoid of all life. It's brain power. And if we were going to follow the Kybalion teachings, all is mind. All starts from the inception point of the grey matter. Let's continue on here. The first thing is the wanting to do it. For me, that was easy. I tried all the unusual 3D methods and I wasn't very successful at them. Reading Neville, I got that finding the assumption is everything. It accomplishes more than a lifetime of hard work on its own will bring you. Actually, hard work isn't enough to ever get what you want, whereas living in the end will always do it. If you're working hard, if you've got your nose pressed towards that grindstone, but if you don't feel that you are living in the end, abundant, whole, complete, then there is an incongruence between the reality and where you are experiencing that reality. You need to come into alignment with the emotional feelings that you have inside as a consequence of feeling whole when you are chaste. The only time it doesn't work is when you are not properly in the assumption and it doesn't feel real and natural. This is vital to know because many people are forcing it and it's not getting them anywhere. So the next thing is deciding on what is the theme of what I'm going to imagine. I never go into fantasies or what people say I should want. I get clear about what I want. Sometimes I write it down. It's very powerful for me. And then I imagine it's the end of a day and I'm just going to appreciate my day while being in bed. So I appreciate all the assumptions and all the assumed, triumphs and successes. Somebody that has the kind of life that you want to live doesn't fall asleep craving it. They fall asleep in gratitude that they already have it. That's the difference. Now I'm ready to do it. I love what Neville says about nighttime because it's true. And when I'm sleepier, it's easier for me to flow into the assumption. To get results, you're looking for that natural, relaxed feeling of knowing that you have it. Remember, don't ever force the assumption. It's about drifting into and letting it take you rather than the other way around. Chasing it will repel it. Let the images and details flood your mind. It's not about you thinking anything up. As I'm already in bed, I feel into where my bed would be and start from there. I imagine the perfect setting. Perhaps I'm in a luxury hotel from a room celebrating my success. I might be aware of an amazing bedroom around me with amazing new furniture, all in my imagination. I'm looking for a scene that assumes what I want is already done. I just have to join that with my knowing by relaxing into that scene of the wish already fulfilled. In my imagine, I might see my reflection looking into the mirror and looking amazing. You need to find the assumption that resonates with you. I'm never desperate about this. I just explore the wish fulfilled. It's like I'm exploring another world rather than reinventing or thinking it up. The perspective I like to hold this idea from is that it's an alternative reality or a parallel reality, and I'm just jumping up the channels and being consistent with the one with my higher self. I think this is the difference between delusion and the wish fulfilled for real. Meaning there is a reality out there, gentlemen, where you have everything that you so desire. By the virtual definition of infinity, that reality exists. And it's just a case of coming into alignment with that reality as opposed to making it up. There is a reality out there where you have the woman that you've been crushing on since you were in primary school. It is not outside the remit of possibilities. You just need to be consistent with the individual that already has that thing. You don't need to make it up. Just come back into alignment. I have spent a lot of time preparing my mind because I meditate and do other techniques. I do find it easier to slip into the assumption. Meditation is key for this. If you don't control the grey here in the thought process, then you'll find yourself slipping into bad habits. You need to have a reference point. That's why I find writing things down is really, really powerful if you are to slip in this new slipstream. The feeling I'm looking for is a relaxed knowing. This is such an important point. Once you click with it, it's yours. This is what I realize now. I stay with it until I feel the switch and it becomes normal. And then I let myself fall asleep in the wish fulfilled. It sounds ridiculous, but when you hit the switch, sometimes you can wake up in a different world or a different parallel universe. Of course, it looks the same, but it seems totally different, like everything is airbrushed and better. One time I remember vividly, I woke up with a kind of confidence I'd never had before, and it hasn't gone away. It was like I was upgraded. What I love about this falling asleep in the wish fulfilled, when you are doing it right, it is one of the best feelings, plus it is so powerful. Let's see what everybody else has experienced with this. The OP has actually written some additions to this. I want to add something that is important. I spend a lot of time doing practices to clear my mind leading up to falling asleep in the wish fulfilled. Once I've done this, living in the end becomes just as easy as Neville makes it sound. What I would guess is why Neville makes it sound so easy is because he's also spent a lot of time doing practices to clear his mind. Without this important step, you try to go through the assumption, but you get bombarded with so many doubts and opposing thoughts that you no longer, that before long you give up and think it will not work for you. The way I practice this is before I fall asleep in the wish fulfilled, which is the state akin to sleep, is I meditate and I clear my mind. I start to observe the thoughts and emotions that are inconsistent with the ones that are my desired outcome. I notice them and then they fall away of their own accord. And then once my mind is nice and quiet, I've already pre-written the reality that assumes that I have the thing that I desire. I look at it. Maybe I might write it down in the form of a sigil, which is a powerful, magical, it's a sigil, it's an icon, you could say, which is a reference point for the thought. I observe it, I go to sleep, and I fall asleep in that powerful emotion. Mind of luxury comments here, it's already happened. Meditation really is the key, the gateway key. Getting to that calm, serene state before you sleep, rehearsing your scenes, that's the real name of the game. Neville said to prepare before you sleep every night and never go to sleep dissatisfied, because it's that small window before you drop off into land of sleep that creates everything. This is the subconscious. The subconscious is fertile soil that any thought can grow. So if you go to sleep dissatisfied, you will grow dissatisfied realities. Go to sleep in satisfied states and you will blossom satisfied realities. Gentlemen, it's time we stop resting on our laurels and just having an expectation that if we are chaste, if we are harnessing our divine masculine sexual energy, that life will just happen serendipitously. It may for many people, but it won't if you're not consciously using the mental powers that all is mine to create the reality. And it starts by being creative. I preface this. If you're not going to be physically creative, procreative, and create a child, then be mentally creative. Create a reality. The point of sexual energy mastery is keeping the creative element within us, transmuting it, and using that creative element elsewhere. The reason why so many people are not seeing benefits is because they're not being creative. Be creative, and you'll see your reality impregnate and give birth to what you wish to see. And these aren't theories. These are facts. Speak soon.